Ladies and gentlemen, please. Good evening and welcome to this wonderful occasion where we will honor our friend Mark Graham with our industry's highest award, the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Robert T. Gair Award. You have a program in front of you, and on advice of folks who are smarter about these things than we have decided to make one small adjustment to the program. The speakers will go in the order in which you see them here, but the video shall be after Tony rather than after Steve. So with that in mind, I'd like to ask Ben Graham to come up and start us off on behalf of the family and Bell Incorporated.
Thank you, Ben. I first would like to acknowledge two people who couldn't be here tonight, but have been instrumental in the way and the reasons why we are here tonight. First is my sister, Sarah. She has given my father his first two grandchildren and a mother a lifetime of smiles. She also married one of the smartest guys I've ever met, but not quite smart enough to stay out of the folding carton industry. Secondly is my mother. Although she couldn't be here to witness, she is here in spirit. When I look at my father, I only see half of the spark in his eye tonight. She will be missed, but she said to tell you how proud she was and that someone better be filming this. Bell Incorporated has done great things under Mark's leadership. On behalf of all of the employees of Bell Incorporated, we couldn't be prouder for this recognition of your achievement. Mark has provided the dream and the vision for our company for the last 32 years. It goes without saying that without Mark, we wouldn't be the thriving packaging company we are today. We are all better for having worked with him and inspired by his dedication. We love the passion, the excitement, and the energy that Mark brings to everything he does. This zest will be a part of our culture forever. I personally also want to thank you and tell you how proud I am of you. As your son, I couldn't have dreamed of a better mentor. You have given me the toolkit to be successful and the vocabulary to punctuate it. For those of you who don't know Mark, that's a joke. I know you have talked a lot about retiring next year, and we even have it in writing. But then again, so did Brett Favre. On behalf of all the employees of Bell, each and every member of our family, congratulations. You did what you said and said what you did. As a closing, I would like to thank our hosts for this evening, Heidelberg and Bobst. Thank you guys very much for your commitment. And at this time, I'd like to invite up Chris Rainey. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. There have been many, many different aspects that have made Bell successful over the years. And as a machinery manufacturer supplier, one of the things that I'd just like to touch on is something that I was able to witness, having been fortunate enough to visit Sioux Falls once and tour their facility. When you make machinery, a great thing is to see people use it well. And certainly one of the things I witnessed at Bell Incorporated is that the equipment they have and they run, they really, really know how to run extremely well. So from Bob's perspective, we look forward to a new partnership with Bell and, of course, a very successful one for both of us, we hope very much. So I'd like to be the first of several people tonight as well to congratulate Mark on receiving the Gair Award tonight. It's a fantastic achievement. And I'm sure we're all very, very proud to be here tonight to witness that occasion. Thank you, Mark. So I'd like to hand over to Steve Lefkoff, Vice Chair of the PPC.
Thank you, and I am not a sponsor of tonight's evening. But tonight, we present the prestigious Robert Gair Award to a man who is extremely well deserving of it. Our charter calls for a recipient to be involved in his community affairs, to have excelled in, has made their company excel, and has been a major participant in our organization. But tonight, we are doing more than that. We are also celebrating independent entrepreneurial leadership at its finest. Our honoree, Mark Graham, and Bell Incorporated have become one of the premier folding carton manufacturers in the States. Through creative use, first of web flexo technology, Mark and Bell have taken the fast food clamshell business and the overnight envelope business and grabbed them by the throat and made them Bell's own. Mark is a very worthy recipient rather of tonight's award. We really didn't have any qualms in voting Mark into this wonderful award. And speaking for the PPC, Mark, we want to congratulate you, your family, and Bell Incorporated. Thank you. Jim Dunn. Thanks.
Well, good evening, and thank you very much from all of us at Heidelberg to have the opportunity to participate in this wonderful event and to help sponsor this evening's activity. I have to go off script a little bit. I have an apology. I did not dump Jan Steiner. I didn't do it. I was moved, Jan. They asked me to go over to this table. I know you were my buddy and everything else. And I want to make it up to you so you get a 10% discount on parts and service for the next 90 days. So. And if I dumped anybody else, you get the same deal. So, this is also a privilege to be here tonight with Mark Graham receiving the prestigious Robert T. Gair Lifetime Achievement Award. And we were talking earlier, we've only known each other for 2 years, I guess. I think it was about 2 years ago we sat in an Italian restaurant in Connecticut and just talked and talked and talked. And in that time, you become to understand why Bell is so successful. It's all about the people. It's all about the passion. And yet, as proud as Mark is about what he's accomplished, you get the sense that there's still more. And he's never satisfied that things are what they could be. And I think that's what really drives him. So it's a great pleasure to be with you tonight and the family. And I can only wish you the best of success and know it will continue. So thanks so much, everyone. And now I'd like to introduce Ben Markins. Thank you.
So hello again. This is a very pleasing night for me. Jenny and I have known Mark and Pat for over 20 years. Bell was the third client of my consulting service to our industry. And Mark and I have done things together and with each other and for each other for that long time. And it's very gratifying to me that the first Gair Award winner in my presidency of the PPC would be someone, in my opinion, as deserving as Mark. I would like to recognize a few folks who are very important to us. First, I echo Ben's comments. It's unfortunate, you may not know, but Pat Graham has the H1N1, which is why she's not here, and at great sacrifice, I think, to herself to miss it so as not to infect us. And I can only imagine how she's feeling tonight. I also like to recognize Kelly Frater from our staff. You'll see in a few moments a very lovely video. And there were, I think, about a dozen hours. And the first time I saw it, Kelly had reduced it to about 30 minutes. And I said, wow, this is great. How could she reduce it from here? And I hope you'll agree with me that she's got it down to about 12 minutes, and it's amazing. I can tell you that the things that got left on the cutting room floor are beautiful as well. I'd like to agree with Ben that our sponsors, Bobston Heidelberg, stepped up, I think in a way that the PPC has never had sponsors stepped up before to defray the cost of the video, to help upscale the dinner for us tonight, and I agree that they should be thanked in a big way. And then I also would like to introduce you to someone who you'll meet in a few moments on the video. And while I'm not sure either Ben knows them, Mark and I are the only persons in the room who have worked with a fellow named Brett Bainey, who you'll see on the video. And I've not seen Brett in person for 15 years. But I met Brett back in 1988, and he's a big guy, about Bob Neff's size. And he was the plant manager at Bell. And he will tell you in the video tonight that he thinks he was the 4th employee at Bell. And so when I met Mark and Brett was the number 3 guy in the company. He was the plant manager. And Bell was doing, I'll guess, about $3 million a year. But as you all know, they're doing a bit more than that today. And Brett was with Mark as they grew from, say, 30 employees and $3 million to 50 employees and $10 million. And we were doing our annual profit planning one year, and Brett said he needed to speak to Mark and then to me. And he said, listen, I'm a great $3 million a year plant manager, but I am not the guy who's going to be able to take this company to 20, 30, 40, $50 million. And it's not fair to Mark, and it's not loyal to Mark, and it's not good for the company for me to stay. Some of you who know me have heard me tell stories of people who self-select out when they hear what the plan is. And this was one of these fellows who was bigger than himself and said, I can't get the company to where it was, and I value my relationship with Mark too much to get into the place and where he and I won't be getting along because I'm not carrying the water. So you'll see him tonight. It's a tribute to Mark that 15 years after this fellow left the company, that he says the wonderful and marvelous thing. So he's the fellow with the goatee, and he'll describe himself as the 4th employee. And as I say, it's a tribute to Mark and to the company. So on behalf of the PPC, on behalf of the staff, on behalf of Jenny and me, Mark, congratulations. It's a delight to know you. I'd like to bring Tony Petrelli up.
Thank you, Ben. You know, I've had a very humble career of about 28 years in this business, and I used to think of myself as being pretty creative and innovative, and when I was asked to be the last speaker prior to the video and I was starting to read the history of this company, I got nothing compared to what Mark Graham has done. And if you'll indulge me a little bit, because I'm sitting here and I'm studying this history, and I've had this with me for about a month, and I'm going, I can't ad-lib this stuff. I can't make any of this stuff. I can't embellish it. So we put in your little program just kind of a timeline. If you'll just kind of follow me and indulge with me a little bit, there's a lot of this I need to read before we get started, because this is one of the most phenomenal stories, not only in folding carton, but I think in terms of risk-taking, I think in terms of innovation, creativity, market timeliness, and everything that any Harvard MBA can tell you is a case study. This isn't only a case study for folding cartons. This is a case study for business, innovation, and risk-taking. And Mark, I am proud to serve this organization and to have gotten to know you and your company. And I'm really pleased and proud to have you a member of our association. It's fantastic. So Mark was born and raised in Mitchell, South Dakota, and of humble beginnings. And one of his first jobs was as a brakeman for the railroad. That's how he got his start. So that, I guess, was a box, right? Sort of, you know. But he always had a passion for sales and marketing, and so he started pursuing a career in both retail sales and insurance. I bet you he sold a hell of a lot of insurance, I got to tell you. But while he was in insurance sales and being very successful, he relocated to Sioux Falls, but he always wanted to get into manufacturing. He always wanted to own his own business. So he was reading the newspaper, and he sees this little tiny ad for this company for sale. And this company was about 56 years old, something like that at the time. And so he said, what the hell, I'll go take a look at it. Now, again, this is 74. So he's looking at it, he's talking to him, and he finds out this company has kind of stayed in business for 56 years and never had a sales rep. And he thought, shit, I can sell. I'm going to buy this place, and I'm going to go crazy with it. Well, he did go crazy, and 35 years later, it's an amazing story. So in 76, he bought the company. One full-time employee, two part-time employees, and about $40,000 in sales. So he purchased the company, became its president, its sales manager, its chief cook and bottle washer. And he then started kind of, going into the business, and he thought, I need to develop something unique that's going to differentiate myself from everyone else. So he came up with a product, his flagship product, called Bone Guard trays, which were manufactured and supplied to the meatpacking industry. And Mark was granted 2 patents for innovation for the product line and the way the equipment was automatically inserting this product into the pouches. So right then and there, without him even knowing it, no structural design degree, no marketing degree, he becomes an innovator, and that was his first real packaging design success. So he kept running the business with this Bone Guard tray, and for about 9 years, and so he decided, you know what, I'm growing. So he moves into a 50,000 square foot facility from this little tiny box. See, the box thing is always continuing to move here. And he buys his first multicolor press. And again, this is in 1985 now. After 9 years of running the business, his first multicolor press, platen die cutter, and finishing equipment to enter the general folding carton market. Was it a bops, Chris? Absolutely. Oh, okay. There you go. So then, with his salesmanship, he hooks with this company called American Western, and they, I guess, were the largest manufacturer of lawn and leaf and garbage bags, and got them in as an anchor, client for him back in '85. And today, they are still the certified supplier for American Western. So you can understand, not only is he creative and innovative, but his relationship building and his personal relationships with people is another reason for his success. So he's in this 50,000 square foot facility doing this stuff, and then he thought, well, you know what? What else am I going to do? I'm not satisfied. So in 1991, he enters this new age of communication called the overnight mailer envelope business. So he gets into this business, and he finds out that there's a lot of big giants in our industry who make the paperboard, make the structures, and here's this little guy trying to compete, and he goes, I'm going to beat them at their own game. So he finds a very unique source of material that he can get that these guys can't make, that's going to give him lower cost opportunities. So he gets in, he starts becoming competitive, and he says, I still got to figure out a better way to do this. So he enters the web market, the web flexo market, for the first time, and really then figures out a way how to do not only a lot of things in line, which in that business you could do these continuous feed things, but he goes, I'm wasting material, and I think I can cut cost here. So he figures out a way. Now, this guy's not a mechanical engineer, but he figures out the way that he can do this stuff in register, save money, and save material from the waste stream. And again, that's in 1991. So overnight, no pun intended, but overnight he becomes really the worldwide leader in these overnight mailer envelopes. So this continues to go on, and by this time now, in 1991, remember he started with this 1 employee, 2 part-time, they've got 100 people in the company. So he says to his son, I need a little bit of help, and I need to teach you the business. So Ben starts with him sort of part-time, learning really all aspects of the business, and really begins at that time with the company. So they're continuing to grow, and in 1992, now he's getting into a new facility. It's 180,000 square feet, and they continue to grow. And I'll tell you what, for all of us who run our businesses, going from a little shop to 50,000, now 180,000 is a pretty hard thing to do. So then he decides he's going to talk to a little company called the U.S. Postal Service. And so he decides in 1993 he's going to go after that, and really becomes, with his low-cost materials, his inline, processes, that he's going to do that business. And so in 1994, he installs this web flexo press and really revolutionizes this whole industry. So in 1995, he becomes the sole supplier for the overnight envelopes to the U.S. Postal Service. You can just imagine the growth at that time. So he continued to innovate, and he thought, again, what else am I going to do? And so he asked young Ben to do a little R&D project, and Ben, who loved to drink beer and eat pizza and all that, decided that this pizza fast food market was something that may be kind of interesting. And so Mark said, what the heck? I'll innovate something. We'll figure it out. So they decided to go to a customer that, with Ben's research and Mark's innovation, they could save them $900,000. That's one way to get the business. And so they got this pizza business. So all of a sudden they're entering the food service industry, and they're starting to do more direct contact, food direct contact, so they get their American Institute of Baking, superior certification. in 97, and they're really taking off now in doing that. Now, I talked a little bit about growth. That year they did that, they grew 43%. Anybody want to top that? I don't think so. So, I mean, innovation, salesmanship, market timing, creativity, amazing. So in 1999, Mark needed more capacity. I'll buy another web Flexo. So he did that, and then he made a bold move and decided, I'm not only going to do that, but I'm going to become one of the industry's first all-web facility environments. And I have to, that's a big risk, because I don't think a lot of people probably looked at Mark and said, what the hell are you doing? So Ben at that time says, Dad, I can help you. He joins full-time, and so they're really starting to rock and roll now. So they get their ISO certification, 9001 in 2000. And then the Postal Service said, you know what, you guys are pretty good. Why don't I give you a 10-year contract? Anybody got any of those? I don't. With the U.S. Postal Service. And so that's just amazing. And so again, because of that, now they're growing, another year, 21.5% year-over-year growth in 2003. We're not talking about 50 years ago, folks. We're talking about just a few years ago. 21.5% growth. Remember those slides that we saw from Reese? 1% here, 0.5% there. This is pretty phenomenal. And so they really started getting in now in 2003 with Hobby McDonald's, more food service. That's another one of their focuses. So 2004, they have to get another plant, another 15% growth, 400,000 square feet now for their company from the humble small plant, the little box that they had. And now he decides he's really going to piss everybody off, and he's going to go buy a press that nobody's even heard of, and he's going to get a first variable repeat web offset press that I wanted to buy one. He said I could go see it, and Ben said, hell no. We're going to be, we're going to be the leaders in this, and I respect them for that because, again, they were taking risks that nobody else was willing to take, and they deserve to get the spoils for that. And I'm really proud, and I really do respect Ben for telling me that I couldn't see it. Because they knew they had, I mean, that was great. They knew they had something. He was very professional about it. Hell no was what he said. So that was a big deal, and there's been a few more now, but here's Mark, who isn't a third generation, fifth generation, packaging guy, and he's buying stuff that we don't even understand because he's willing to take the risk to do that. 2005, only 22% growth that year. So, what are you going to do? And now they decide they're going to get in the light bulb business, But again, innovation, the equipment to do it, new technology, new designs to do that, and this expanded support. But he's still not done yet. He needs more help. So he finds this young kid who's kind of working with P&G and other people and, really a brainiac, and decides that his daughter ought to marry this guy. So, so he gets young Ben Arndt to join the company, and now he feels, I got a pretty good company here, and I got a couple of young guys that are going to help me really grow this thing. So now in 2006, they're converting 40,000 tons of paperboard on an annual basis. And folks, if you want to do the math on that, that's pretty big. And but he says, you know what? I'm having a hell of a lot of fun, but I don't know how much longer I can go. And I'm going to train these young guys, and I'm going to, really start developing a succession plan because I don't want to screw this thing up and, that we've built. So, he got together with a consultant and really figured out a way that he could continue to foster this innovation, this risk-taking, and this growth, and have his two trusted young soldiers, his two lieutenants, to really help him out. And so they continued to really get involved in the business and to really grow and be a part of the leadership there. And another 17% growth from 07 to 08. My God, that's amazing. And really decided that it was really time to do one more innovative move. And that's why Heidelberg's here, because, again, they bought something that I don't even know what the hell it is. So, Jim, you're going to have to tell me what this thing's all about. But a 64-inch VLF Heidelberg offset press, first one in North America. So that's, again, everything he does is the first, and that's just amazing. So from this little $40,000 company with 3 employees to now one of our leading independents and one company that I am very proud of doing over $60 million in sales. That's just amazing. Mark, you should be very proud. And Ben, you guys are learning from one of the best. And I said earlier that I got nothing. I got a lot because I know Mark Graham. Now, Mark sits on our board, and his term is coming to an end, but because of his influence, and as Steve was talking about in terms of how this award is given, and this isn't an annual award. We have not given this award since 2005. So this isn't a gimme. It's not like, well, I'm the next guy retiring, so I'm going to get the award. You got to earn it. And it's not only what you do for your company, it's what you do for your community, and it's what you do for our industry. And Mark clearly was the first candidate we've had in 4 years to do that. So Mark's going to stay on, and he's agreed to be a board of director emeritus for us. He'll only be the second one. Mr. George Howe was our first one, and Mark will be our second one. And so I'm proud that he will continue to be the part of us. But he is going to be transitioning his leadership to his son and his son-in-law next year. But he'll stay on as the chairman of the board just so he can continue to piss them off. But really, because I think Mark's passion now will be to let a little bit of that pressure go away so he can continue to innovate, continue to be creative, and continue to grow the company for the next 35 years. So it is my sincere pleasure and privilege to ask Mark Graham to come up and accept the Robert T. Gair Award. Oh, the video. I'm sorry. Why don't you sit, Mark, and wait a little bit, and we'll look at the video. I'm sorry. Please roll the tape.
If somebody asked me to describe Mark Graham in 3 words,
the first word that comes to mind is maverick. Inventive, competitive, bold.
He's tenacious, he's focused, and he's a visionary.
He's just totally fearless.
Intense, committed, involved.
I would say entrepreneur, entrepreneur, entrepreneur.
Lots of energy, big vision, big personality to go with it, and drive, a lot of drive.
He has the innate ability to look outside the box.
He's very focused, he's very visionary, and he's very compassionate, very caring.
As a businessman, he is a very analytical risk taker.
Mark is not someone that you will forget. I was impressed from the first day that I met him.
It was a small company. I think I was the 4th employee, including Mark, when I first started. The business was in an old Quonset hut barracks from the old Army base that was in Sioux Falls after World War II that they had left as industrial park. And
He and his secretary receptionist ran the office, and he had then employees back in the plant running the machinery. And I remember one of the first times I saw the plant, the machines were old and black iron, and it reminded me kind of something from the Industrial Revolution.
Old equipment, an older building that was leaking like a sieve. So the surroundings weren't great, but there was Mark with all his energy and passion and excitement for this business.
I still remember the cheer and the yell from the office when he got his first contract.
You know, when Mark started out and he came to Sioux Falls, you know, and when he took a little company that was just a box company, and I think it's just incredible what he did with that company to turn into an international company. And
that's really what I see as the most amazing part, that dedication and that vision, I guess, that went into, you know, just the ability to kind of see what the company could become when really it was nothing.
The one thing that's always impressed me about Mark as the owner of Bell Incorporated is his work ethic.
His mind is such that it never stops working. So as you're trying to accomplish the tactical day-to-day things, strategically he's already 6 months or a year ahead of you trying to determine where the next niche market is and how we get there.
He was always off climbing the next mountain, looking for the next innovation. He was always moving forward, looking to the future, looking for the next quest, because I think that's Mark's passion. Mark's passion is chasing the next adventure, finding the next technology, and delivering that to the customer and driving costs out of the organization.
One of the greatest joys that I've had with working with my father is going to trade shows. You know, it's kind of joked about, but you know, you walk a trade show with Mark and your feet are dead at the end. You're just exhausted because, and you can just see his mind working as you go through those trade shows and see the equipment, and he's thinking about different ways of melding technologies together to produce products for customers or for driving efficiencies in our process to reduce costs.
He often says if we're going to be the low-cost seller, we must be the low-cost producer.
So Mark's philosophy is if we can drive a quarter of a penny or a half a penny out of each one of these things, we're going to make billions of them. So it's okay to invest some time and effort to figure out how to be the low-cost producer. By being the low-cost producer, that's how Mark's decided that they'll win.
He never would tell a customer no. He would figure out how to get what they wanted, when they wanted.
Mark is a great visionary. He decided early on to switch formats from a sheet-fed offset plant to a flexo plant, and in essence he gambled his company to do that.
While he's taken very big bets in business, as I've seen him over the years, they have been very calculated, very analytical bets, and that from the surface it looks to the rest of us like he's betting the farm, but in his analytical way, in his mind, he's not taking that big a risk.
And much credit is due him for the courage to do what he thought he needed to do to make his company successful.
Clearly, Mark has helped grow the packaging industry, not just in the U.S., but I would say globally. They have a global presence.
Mark was a pioneer in putting together a plan for independent folding carton companies to be successful and compete with larger integrated companies.
He's an innovator. He's taken a lot of things that have been in other industries and converted them to his plant.
He prided himself in hiring good people and taking care of them, and Mark always did that.
Mark understands that the people that work for him are really the core capital beyond the technology, the equipment, and the financial investment that he can make. It's the people that make his company successful.
He feels like he would not be where he is today if it were not for the employees that he has.
I think because of Mark's success, his entrepreneurial spirit, he really shines in the community of Sioux Falls.
Supporting the community, it's a big thing for Mark.
He understands and values the quality of life that Sioux Falls in this area has to offer, and he has done a tremendous amount over the years to improve our resources, improve the quality of life, and make sure that Sioux Falls is a great place to live.
He has, in addition to creating out of whole cloth 200 jobs, which affect 200 families in this community, he's just been a major supporter of good, healthy economic development.
You think of how many people from different parts of this whole globe come to Sioux Falls, South Dakota because of his business and what that does for all of us. He really stepped up for Ronald McDonald House, and Mark has got really a compassion for young people and to meet those needs.
I can't think of a single time when Mark has been asked to step up for the city of Sioux Falls, or for that matter, the state of South Dakota, and he said, no, I think I'll decline. To Mark Graham, the question is always, what needs to be done? What role is there for me to play in doing it? And he is always there front and center.
I think when you look at a lifetime's worth of work and achievement, Mark is well deserving of the Gair Award.
I think it's wonderful Mark should receive this award. He has put so much time and effort into this, his company, to see it grow and prosper and stuff, and it's really nice to see him rewarded for his efforts.
You know, I'm excited that Mark's getting this award because I think he deserves it for all the innovation and change that he's brought to the industry, the excitement, the energy. And again, you know, he's done so much, I think, for so many people that he's deserving of an award like this.
Everyone in our business and professional community in Sioux Falls is proud of Mark. We're really proud of this award. It's very well deserved. Congratulations to him and congratulations to the industry for recognizing him.
That favorite son of South Dakota is being recognized by his national peers for his capabilities and his accomplishments. And I think that reflects not only on him but on the state of South Dakota, and we're all very proud of that.
Well, I think the nominating committee did a really good job. They looked at lots of folks and they talked about lots of folks. Mark has all of the legs. Certainly his, what he's done at his own company, grown it from basically nothing to one of the largest carton companies in the country in one generation is amazing in and of itself. His commitment to the greater industry, he's worked on lots of projects for our PPC. He's been on our board for many years. His company supports most of the activities of PPC. And he's active in other activities in the industry. He's active certainly in going to shows and in his own community, which is the third part. So Mark really does fit all three criteria: service to his company, service to our industry, and service to his community.
He has created a path for our business that I feel very lucky to take and move into the next generation.
I have seen the impact he's had on this industry. I've seen the impact he's had on a company. I've seen the the people's lives that he's changed with his company, and the impact that that has had on everyone around him and on his family is incredible.
Mark will never be retired. Let's face it. I mean, he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
He will never totally be out of the business. I know Mark way too well. He is always going to be active in the business.
We'll never forget the culture of seizing on opportunities, looking at ways to improve on things, and really looking at things differently.
Any discussion about Mark Graham's success, though, would be incomplete if that book didn't have a couple chapters about Pat Graham. I honestly think it is Pat Graham who's kept this family, not just Mark, but Ben and Sarah and all the others, focused on what's important.
Pat has added immensely to his success.
It's hard to believe as we look back that it's been 30-some years, because it's gone very quickly. He's just a genuinely good, kind, generous person, and I love him very much.
Thank you, Dad, for everything that you've provided for me, the leadership, the values that you've entrusted in me, and the opportunity that we face moving forward. And as I said, you deserve every bit of this, and I love you.
Now I can call you up. Mark Graham, 2009 Robert T. Gair Award winner.
I was on my way to present ideas about all the discounts we're offering. I've got some catchphrases that'll make these savings even more memorable. Good job at this. Ben?
I guess I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, Tony, and everyone else for your very kind words. Thank you, Ben, and the staff of the PPC, especially Kelly, for putting together the video, and Jeanette at Bell Paper Box, or Bell Incorporated, excuse me, for coordinating all of the interviews for the video. Thank you, Jenny, for all your work to make this a very special evening. I'm humbled and honored to be here tonight, and what a privilege it is to be in the company of George Howell, the past Gair Award recipient, Rich Garber, the 2009 inaugural recipient of the Volunteer Leadership Award of Excellence. And I did want to mention to you, Ben, and the fellow board members, George came up to me in the reception tonight, and we were chatting, and he said, as that I was the new plebe of the Gair Award winners, it was my responsibility to lobby the board to fund a Scottsdale winter retreat for all the Gair Award winners. So be prepared, and I'll do my best, George. There are more people than I can possibly thank in a few brief remarks, but first and foremost, and lovingly and gratefully, I want to thank my wife, Pat, and my family for their unwavering support and understanding. Without Pat, I could not have made this journey that brings me here tonight. Ben had alluded to the fact that Pat is ill. Thank many of you for asking. I will tell you she's at the end of a 2-week, very difficult ordeal. She is, by the measure of the medical profession, basically over it. They measure that by if your temperature is stabilized for 24 hours or 48 hours, and she's now into this 30-some hours, still is coughing, but she's on the mend. She's very sorry that she wasn't here tonight. I, for one, would love to have had him here, and more importantly, I'd love for all you to meet her, because she truly is a great wife and probably the nicest person I've ever met. Thanks also to Steve Lefkoff for nominating me, and the PPC board for voting for me. And again, to Tony Petrelli for his leadership, to the Bops Group in Heidelberg for their contributions to our industry and their support for this event. Nothing in the early days would have predicted my being here tonight. In fact, if I had known then what I know now, I probably would not have purchased Bell Paper Box in 1976. When I think of those days, I think of a quote by Vinod Khosla, one of the co-founders of Sun Microsystems. An entrepreneur is someone who dares to dream the dreams and is foolish enough to try to make those dreams come true. That was me back then, a dreamer and no doubt a bit of a fool. I purchased a small packaging company without knowing anything about printing or packaging. I didn't have a plan or, at time, much of a clue. I suppose a smarter man would not have taken that leap. But fear is a great motivator, and my only goal at time was to get to the end of the week, make enough money to meet that payroll, which I never ever missed, pay the bills, and take a little home to support my family. There were many days that I felt as if it wasn't for bad luck, we wouldn't have any luck at all. But then, you get an opportunity that turns out great. You look back and decide, that's what luck looks like? Luck doesn't always have a pretty face. Take Bone Guard, the packaging that was one of Bell's first innovations. There's not much glamour there, but it revolutionized the fresh pork packing industry, earned us our first patents, and provided the foundation for what Bell is today. Bell remained a small company, making unprinted, die-cut packaging until 1985, when we expanded our capabilities to be able to produce printed folding cartons. To understand the financial side of the folding carton business, we discovered Ben Markins with Converters Resource. And I'll always remember the day when you and Andy Levkoff came out to make your first presentation. You made the presentation. Andy laid sick on the couch in my office and using my waste can to throw up in. It was a great presentation. I couldn't use my office for about a week, but Ben helped us to understand all the details, including forecasts, budgets, machine hour rates, and in the end, a profit planning process we've used for 20 years. In fact, Ben will be at our office next week. Thank you, Ben, for the important role you've played in our business. If we have a niche at Bell, I think it's our ability to analyze an opportunity, take informed risks, use technology or some other innovation to eke out a few more cents, meet a specific customer need, or gain a competitive advantage. And perpetually asking, how can we improve on this? That's how it was, and that's how it's been. Just going to work every day and doing the best we can to exceed the needs of our customers and trying to keep all of you from stealing our customers. And that's not always easy. Being part of the PPC has been a very rewarding experience, especially the opportunity to meet great industry people and to discover that by learning from each other, we can all grow as individual companies and as an industry. As the PPC moves forward under the leadership of the Board of Directors and Ben Markins and his team, I have every confidence we will only get stronger and better as the voice of the paperboard packaging industry. There is a group of people I didn't mention earlier. I saved them for last but not least. They are the future of this thing I started 33 years ago. Of course, I mean the smart, focused team of people at Bell Incorporated. If I could have dreamed a team, I couldn't have dreamed up a better one. I'm very proud of the hundreds of people at Bell, many of which have been part of my team for 15, 20, and some even over 25 years. Together, we try to abide by a set of core values that are based on the belief that success comes from a combination of being honest with our customers by saying what you do and do what you say. And keep Bell running profitably, we need to always focus on one thing. If you're going to be the low-cost seller, you damn well better be the low-cost producer. Otherwise, it's a pretty short career. When I retire in April, which a lot of people don't think I will, but I will, Bell will be in very good hands with my son Ben Graham and my son-in-law Ben Arndt taking the helm. On the day-to-day basis, they've been running Bell already and have proved themselves by guiding the business successfully through one of the most turbulent times our industry has seen. In fact, in the last couple of years, this industry has been such that the only growth I've seen is in my waistline. It has been an exciting and rewarding journey, and one I am not sure I would want to do again, but a journey I will never forget or regret. This is an industry made of wonderful people and mostly wonderful customers. It has provided Pat and me and our family a satisfying, fulfilling lifestyle, and I know it will continue to make my family as proud to be part of it as I have been. I have one final thought I would like to share with you. We are here tonight because all of us find value in what the PPC does. Some in our industry do not. I would ask you to share with those who do not find value in the PPC this thought. If we did not have the PPC, we would be here tonight trying to figure out how to create an organization that does exactly what the PPC does every day. Thank you.
Mark, again, congratulations to you and your family and your company. This concludes our evening. Please feel free to continue to get together, go to the bar, do whatever, and congratulate Mark and them. Good night. Thank you.